We're live.
Welcome, everybody, to the Entrepreneur Dojo. This is Dave Espino and James Renuff. And today, we thought we'd talk about how it doesn't take money to make money online. And so I wanted to bring this topic up. James, you had the idea for the topic, so I'm going to kind of let you have the floor here and tell us a little bit about how can you make money online without investing money?
Yeah, every that phrase, it takes money to make money. So many people think about that, and they think that that is kind of how it has to happen. And that's just simply not the case with the way the world is right now, because there's so many different platforms and mediums out there that let you get traffic inherently that you can take advantage of. So for example, and these are all sites that we all know and use. For example, we're on YouTube right now, and obviously people can watch us. And we had to pay for a web camera. I mean, but a lot of people have web camera. They might have it on their laptop or so and so. But my point is that you don't have to be someone that's spending $10,000 a day on ads to have success. There's people that all they do is they make content. Let's put it this way. This is what really shocked me initially. There was this woman that my son used to watch years ago. And I felt bad for this woman. I felt she actually had like some kind of learning disability, mental problem. And all she did was she opened up these little eggs, these little toy eggs. That's all she did, this lady. And she had an accent. It doesn't matter that she had an accent, but I just was like, man, I feel bad for this lady. She seems to be about 40 years old. She doesn't even show her face online. And all she does is open these child eggs. But my child at the time, who was like 5, was enamored with watching this woman open up these eggs and these toys.
Wow.
I find out later, this lady's from Brazil, and she made like $10 million that year from all the people that watched her videos.
Wow.
So who's the dummy? Me. And I'm thinking, why would someone ever do this? But the point is, she was getting in front of an audience. Yep. And there's so many people that they don't even sell a product. They're just out there talking about whatever, things that I know nothing about. And they get paid by YouTube. That's one example.
Yeah.
There's another one, like with Facebook Lives. Facebook Lives are huge. There's these people that what they do is they go in and I don't know if shuck is the word, but they basically open up these is it mussels?
Oysters
whatever the pearls come out of.
Yeah, oysters.
Oysters, yeah, excuse me. So they open up these oysters, and there's pearls in these oysters, but these are like oysters that are genetically modified oysters. Like it's like every oyster has a pearl in it. And these people just, oh, look at this pearl. Like it's this amazing thing. And they've got hundreds, if not thousands of people watching them open up these oysters. And I'm just like, I mean, if that kind of doesn't tell you what's possible online without money,
yeah.
There's people I know. This guy, all he does is talk about pools. How to I have a pool, and I didn't know anything about it. He talk about your pH levels and how much salt you need to put in your saltwater pool and your filters and this and that. All this kind of, geek out stuff with pools. Sure enough, he has a little ebook that he sells for $49. Don't tell me he's not selling thousands of those, because he's doing video after video. So with YouTube, with Facebook, you look at sites like Fiverr, sites like, and these are sites we've already talked about before, but like Instagram, all these sites that are getting traffic, that's what they do. You can be on these platforms most time for free, and you can build an audience in whatever niche that you want to do. So this whole, again, notion that you have to have money, and it's not like you have to be this polished. There's room for the polished people. There's room for the people that are in the suits and they're professional. But so many people that I see that crush it, there's no makeup going on. There's no behind the scenes. It's just there talking their talk about whatever it is. And you don't have to be something that you're not. I'm trying to be real and be myself, and I'll make jokes sometimes and they're not funny. And, like that's me. And some people like it, some people don't, but you don't have to be this kind of like always on fire and always trying to be something you're not. In fact, what resonates is when you are yourself, whatever that is. If you're boring, if you're funny, if you're not, just being yourself. Again, I've seen it time and time again. Like, for example, my wife, she sells these ketone drinks. Mm-hmm. She's on Facebook all the time. She has a Facebook group. She has like 1,300 people now in her group that she sells. It's like a weight loss group. Well, she has other people that are in her company selling these products, and they have no presence on video. They have no kind of style, and they're crushing it. And
Yeah.
I just look at them like, how is they're swearing all the time, and they're doing all these things that I just never would do. But guess what? They resonate with a certain set of people. So
Yeah.
for those that, again, there's all kinds of people in different levels that are watching this right now. Some people own companies, some people have never started, but if you're one of those people that you just don't think it's possible, let me tell you it is, and it's happening for thousands, if not millions of people right now online in different ways, and they're literally doing it from home. The whole notion of work from home is happening right now. Dave and I are at home. He's in Idaho, I'm in North Carolina, and we're doing our thing. And you're here consuming this, which is great. Why can't you do the same thing for whatever it is that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've heard a couple other stories. Like there's a kid, one of the top YouTubers actually in the world. He's a kid, and his parents have him open up toys and review the toys, and all he does is toy reviews. And I forget
And
how many
he's
millions.
crushing it. That kid, he's making
doing amazing.
millions of dollars a year, and he's like, I don't know how old he is, 5 years old or something silly like that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, and then my daughter told me about this trend I had never heard of, and it is people film their family having dinner, and people watch
Like
as this family.
mukbang videos.
What do they call it?
Mukbang.
Mukbang. Why is it?
It sounds dirty, but it's mukbang. It started, I think, in Korea, South Korea, and there was these people that would, they just film themselves eating. There's something like, you've ever had this, like this ASMR, like you can watch these videos just like people just like fixing their nails, or like certain sounds, like sometimes that makes
I've heard of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's this whole thing with mukbang. It's like, not that somebody wants to watch me eat, but if I'm there and I'm eating my dinner, people are like, they just I don't know, there's something about that they like to watch that. And that's the thing too.
I heard that it was something like, they either don't have that experience of having family dinner, or they haven't had it in the past, so they kind of miss that in their life, and somehow it's helping fill a need, which is fascinating, just like
it's
human
unreal.
psychology and how it works.
It's unreal. And so if you like doing that, if you like filming yourself eating, there's this one kid, the guy looks to be about 85 pounds. I don't know his name. He wears a suit on every one of his videos, cheap suit. And he does review videos for like nasty food, like Taco Bell. There's a new burrito out of Taco Bell. And this guy just does these review videos of like cheap takeout food in the States. The guy's got millions of followers. He's making, I don't know how much money online, but he's just going, he's like, I really like this cheesy burrito that came at Taco Bell. That's what he does. And
that's amazing. That is amazing.
It's just you shake your head. Like you just, if you can just put yourself out there, and that's what we're doing right now while we're building this community with the Entrepreneur Dojo, is we're doing our best to make consistent content. And that in and of itself, now obviously we want to bring good content. I mean, that's our goal. But in and of itself, making consistent content on this particular platform will build an audience over time. It's going to happen.
Yep.
And we like to think, or at least I like to think, that we're bringing really great content, and we are, and that's important. But at the same time, that consistent content, that consistency of showing up, most people aren't willing to do that. Most people might be hot out the gate, and they can do a week, but after the week, it's like, oh man, I don't have 1 million followers yet, but it's these people that have been doing it for months and months and months. And then all of a sudden it's like, where did they come from? They blew up, but there's they got 100 videos that they've done that has slowly built an audience.
And that's the key, I think, about YouTube, at least, and really any content creation, is your audience finds you, and then they stick, and then it starts to grow. I had an interesting experience when I used to sell at swap meets when I was a kid. Sometimes we'd see somebody set up nearby, and they were one of these hawkers. They would sell stuff, right? But they were like the carnival type of hawker. I don't know if you've ever seen people selling the little any kind of kitchen gadgets. And so this guy, he would start out his pitch by, he'd have like a little microphone. He'd be on a stand a little bit higher up than the audience. And he'd start his pitch by giving away something for free. Like, let's say an onion peeler. Hey, did you get your onion peeler? Hey, did you get your onion peeler? Come and get your free onion peeler. And once he had a little seed audience, like 5 or 6 people, because he'd start this little patter. And as he's talking this little patter, they're not going away. Now they're feeling kind of obligated to stay, right? So now he has 5 or 6 people around him. And then now the people that are just wandering by are
Yeah, let me
starting
check
to,
this out.
yeah, they're starting to go, what are all these people, crowding around for? Now he'd switch into a different gear, and he'd start doing his actual presentation, his demonstration of this kitchen gadget. And as he did that, then the first layer of the audience was stuck, right? And then the second layer was there, and then the third layer started to form. The passersby, they were like, what's this crowd? What are they all looking at? And every once in a while he'd give away something just to keep them interested, right? And it was this whole fascinating sales psychology that this guy was doing, but he was literally just starting with a seed audience, then building on that, and then building on that. And I feel like that's what this channel is going to do. That's what YouTube channels do. Is at the beginning it may seem like, oh, nothing's happening, but over time you start to build those layers of audience on top of them, and it grows into something. Now, I want to also talk about other ways to make money. Like there are ways to sell, for example, like this shirt right here. It's my logo shirt for my company, Infoboss. And I belong to a program on Amazon called Merch by Amazon, where you can get t-shirts printed on demand. And what we do when you're a Merch by Amazon seller, by the way, I've been getting a check from Amazon for many, many months, at least 2 or 3 years now, every month, consistently getting a check from Amazon. Because what I did was I uploaded a bunch of designs to Merch by Amazon. First of all, it was an invite program, so invite only, but now it's opened up. And those designs just sell every month, and I make royalties on those t-shirts that sell on Amazon. And there's lots of different print on demand type of services out there where you can do the same thing, except that Amazon has the traffic, right? So
I
just
think
one
in a
of,
lot of ways, that's kind of, there are there are ways obviously that you can use paid ads for those traffic sources. But if you look at the top sites on the internet in terms of traffic, Google, YouTube, um, Facebook, Reddit, the list goes
Mhm.
on and on and on. Instagram. These are platforms where the majority of the traffic, you are granted access to put traffic on there. And like you said, Amazon is another
Yep.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing with online course platforms like Udemy and the new mastermind.com. The same idea there. You put a course there, they already have the traffic there. So it didn't cost you any money. It just cost you a little bit of time to either create a course, or in the t-shirt example, create a design, and then it just sells over and over again. So those are cool passive income income streams, that I have from a variety of different income streams. And that's why I like the online course business so much, because you create a course once and it just pays you over and over and over again. I've been getting not checks, but payments from Udemy. I mean, I call them checks because they're big enough to be checks, right? But I've been getting payments from Udemy for, gosh, 5 years, I think now, and it's like an annuity. It's like an ongoing, continuing income every single month I can count on. And I created these courses a few years ago, and they're still paying me every single month.
You're putting another you're picking up another little piece of real estate with all these different things, with your Merch by Amazon and your courses here, and
Yep.
and then all of a sudden there's traffic going to each of those sources, and you're resonating with some people, and you're monetizing that. I mean, that's really the name of the game.
Yeah.
So I think we're at the point, Dave. I think it's pretty clear that it's not a question of if we can make money online. I mean, obviously we can, and we have. It's really for us a question of focus. What are we focusing on? and not getting,
Exactly.
I find I get scatterbrained because I want to be, you're getting me excited about merch. I want to go into merch by Amazon now. And I want to go into this. I want to get that. And that's
Yeah.
the, you want to do your best to focus. Now I'm involved in several things and so are you, but you just don't want to switch every week. But
Exactly.
anyone's watching this and they say, gosh, is it possible? Like everybody thinks somehow it's a scam online because money's being made. No. I mean, in my opinion, this is the way to make money these days. I mean, obviously there's still room for people that can do trades and do things, but the world clearly, especially with all the craziness that's going on right now, the world clearly is moving into like a decentralized nature, and people are doing things online. All these buildings don't have companies there anymore. So there should be nothing in your mind that says, I can't do something online. You can. You just have to figure out what you want to focus on and put in that time and effort.
Absolutely. And with the big the virus going on and everything, I think that has caused a massive shift in the way people think. It's caused a massive shift in understanding in a good way, to go, wow, the whole world just suddenly went from a job to home. Like they were forced to work from home. They were forced to work online. They were forced to use Zoom, in their job or whatever. And all of a sudden, man, in my opinion, James, like these people are right. They're ripe for understanding. Hey, the opportunity is now online. It's not offline like it used to be. It's not as big offline. I mean, there's always going to be jobs that require you to be somewhere, right? But the way that humans just very instantly shifted, the way that all the kids are, they're taking school at home now,
Right.
the way that everything just went from, it was almost like boom, like
That's
offline
it.
to online. We may not even understand the repercussions of where we are right now in history. We may not even understand how big of a shift it is and how powerful it is, but it is massive and it's fast. And probably because it was so fast, we haven't even wrapped our head around it.
Well,
But
the whole notion of work from home years ago was kind of like a dirty phrase, like work from
yep,
home. Like, you trying to scheme me here? Where people now, to the tunes of billions of people, are actually working from home. Like that is how it is. But now it's not just work from home anymore. It's just so much opportunity because now we're connected. People aren't as scared to put a credit card in a site now. So many people use Amazon now, among other things, that it's just, it really is up to your imagination because you can get in front of an audience. There's people just, in a sense, think of it this way. There's people in a sense just dying to interact with whatever you have to do. They just don't know about it yet because you're not out there yet.
right. Yeah. Speaking of how easy it is, that everybody's online and everything. The other day I was coaching some members in the coaching program, and I was talking about my earliest website, my first quote funnel, because it was a website, but we call it a funnel now. And I had read, and my mentor Corey Rudel had said that people are still a little skittish. We're talking about 1999. People are still a little skittish about putting their credit card, information onto a website. So you might want to give them an option to send in a check or money order. Okay. So on my website, on my funnel, I had, don't feel comfortable, putting your credit card in, send a check or money order to PO box, blah, blah, blah. I had an actual PO box on my website, and people would send me checks and money orders.
That's so crazy.
and then when the check would cash, I would email them the link to the ebook so they could get the ebook. It was so funny.
When you think about that, but that was really smart because that was the times that you were in.
Yeah.
um yeah, it's such an amazing time to be alive. We're living through history right now, so much opportunity, and it's so exciting to get to talk to people through these lives, and hopefully inspire them and give them some tips and tools and tricks that they can either start a business or they can enhance their business. But the main point being of this video is that it doesn't take money to make money, at least initially. I mean, there's, of course, you could do things to scale with ads, but there's almost kind of like a pushback with ads now. A lot of people are, you're starting to see courses coming out there like, I'm crushing it on this and no ads, no ads. Like, and so again,
Hmm.
what perfect example is putting people into Facebook groups. building a community. Facebook groups are huge right now. They've been around for a while, but especially because of what's been going on with COVID-19, people are clamoring for some kind of connection, some kind of group,
Yep.
because they can't go to church anymore. They can't go to schools. They can't go to their regular work. So Facebook groups are exploding. So that's another one. If you don't have a Facebook group, get one. Start inviting people to them. Go into other groups that are in similar niches. Let them know about your group and so on. Build it.
Speaking of Facebook groups, I have one of my courses has sold about $96,000 worth, and almost, I would say 96% of those sales were from a Facebook group that I own.
Wow.
I had not thought about that, but it's, again, speaking of the Merch by Amazon, I co-created a course with a gentleman who goes into businesses and he sells them on the idea of, hey, I've got a t-shirt promotion you can do for your restaurant. And now he doesn't do restaurants as much because of COVID. Now he does other businesses, but still, what he does, he charges a setup fee of $250, $250 to $500 to set them up on a t-shirt promotion, like T-shirt Tuesdays, for example. Wear our t-shirt on Tuesdays and get a discount on your meal or whatever. And so he's been super successful with it. His biggest claim to fame is he landed a tire company that had a whole chain of stores, and they didn't want to do necessarily the promotion. They just wanted access to a whole new way to distribute their t-shirts, to all their employees and all their fans. And that generated, I forget the number now, but it was like $400,000 or $500,000 for him or something like that.
Wow.
Anyway, the bottom line is, though, that he had figured out a new way to use Merch by Amazon, and we created a course around it. And I knew how to create the course. He didn't. I didn't have the strategy. He did. So it was a partnership, right? And the only thing we've ever done is promoted it to my Merch by Amazon Facebook group, which has like 7,500, I believe, probably more members now. And to get those members, all I did was create a Facebook group with the title Merch by Amazon Success.
Wow.
And all people just search Merch by Amazon, Merch by Amazon, Merch by Amazon, because for a while Merch by Amazon was like the hot thing. And we gained so many members that way, and put them on a lead magnet so we would get their emails on an email list. And so really the only marketing I've ever done for that course to make $96,000 was created a Facebook group and created a lead magnet that brought those people into an email list. And that's it. And now we get sales regularly of this course from new people that join that group. And then they see it pinned at the top. They see this exciting opportunity and they buy it.
That's our next video, Dave. How you made $96,000 from a Facebook group.
That's a good idea. So you can help me with these titles and these ideas, because that's awesome.
Yeah, but that's true. That again, how, in one sense, the medium doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're getting people from YouTube, if you're getting them from a Facebook group, if you're getting them from your email list. There's all kinds of different ways to do it. But in how are you getting in front of people that are into what you're selling?
Exactly.
So the other day, I was promoting my course with this affiliate, and he did a Skype call with me, and I hate Skype. And he does too, but he wanted it. So
I do too. I hate it too.
And we did a Skype call like this, similar to Zoom. And then that was pushed to Facebook Live. At the same time, it was to a Facebook group, and had all these technical issues, but he was using all these platforms to get people. People were watching in the group. People were watching it in the Facebook Live. They were watching over here. He was like 4 different areas that people were watching. And these were all free platforms that he was using. So it was pretty cool. It's interesting how we have so many tools now that are at our disposal.
So many tools, and all you need to know is content equals traffic. When you create content, you're actually creating traffic. You're the source of traffic. So whether you're creating it on YouTube, whether you're creating the content on Facebook, Facebook group, Facebook Live, or whatever, that content is the source of traffic. You can now harness that traffic, i.e. put those people into an email list, ideally, that you can sell to over and over again. And it didn't cost you anything to create that traffic. It just cost you the time to create the content. And brings me back again to the early days when really about the only way there was to create traffic was to write articles, because the internet was just text. There was no video yet. There's no YouTube. There's no audio, nothing on the internet except it was just text, right? So what we did was we wrote articles that got posted in these article directories, and then people would be able to take my article and post it on their website with that little resource box at the end, the little signature line that said, Dave Espino is the author of blank. To get his free excerpt, click here. And that was the way that we created traffic back then. And so once I realized, or once I learned that this is the way you create traffic, I just went to town writing articles, because I'm a pretty good writer, and started getting all this traffic, and it worked. And so ever since then, I realized the essence of the internet is content. Content equals or drives, creates traffic. Now, you can also just pay for it, right? There's three ways to get traffic. You can create it. So that's by creating content. You can pay for it by getting ads on the places that have the content, or you can borrow it. You can joint venture with somebody who already has the traffic, and work that out. And in effect, that's what my partner Mike, with the Merch by Amazon course, that's what he did. He borrowed my traffic because I had created this Facebook group, and we collaborated. I've got the traffic, you've got the strategy. Let's make lots of money, right? So that was the idea there. And so, yeah, I think that understanding is really important to get, is content equals traffic.
Yeah.
And so you either create it, or you borrow it, or you pay somebody to put your ad on it. Same thing with websites. Think about websites. Like on my blog, on my daveespino.com, I've got a little bar on the side, just like the old school, and I've got a lead magnet there. Hey, get my free copy of my free book. Give me your name and email address. And that's on every page on my blog. And so if somebody wanted to pay me, they could pay me to put an ad right there on that sidebar. Or if I wanted to, I could run Google ads, on my website. And I used to do that with the pet website we talked about the other day, the Planet Pets website. We used to run Google ads on there, and it made pretty good money. Google AdSense. It's all based on content. And so here, what we're doing here with Entrepreneur Dojo is we're creating content. We're creating valuable content for entrepreneurs who want to, scale up their business or grow their business, or even just start a business online. And when we do that, we're creating value. When we create value, YouTube will run ads ahead of, or in the middle of, our programming. We'll get paid based on ads. But more importantly, as we're serving people and we're building an audience, we're adding that layer upon layer upon layer of audience, and those people will be looking to us for okay, what do you guys have? Like, what can I get from you? Can I get some training from you? Can I learn from you? And it just so happens we probably will do something like that. We'll create something like that and have it available, right? So that's the idea, and I think it's great when you go, it doesn't take money to make money online, because it's true. It takes content. You can create all the content you want and start bringing in all the traffic you want from that.
Well, I think that's a great way to end it, Dave. So I appreciate that. And it was a great topic today, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us at the Entrepreneur Dojo. I hope you learned some wax on, wax off techniques. And we look forward to seeing you here every day at about the same time, about 9 p.m. Eastern time every day is our goal to be here. Now, some days we may be a little earlier, and some days we may be a little later. That's about the time. And be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, comment. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. Tell us what you'd like to see us talk about. If we went down like a little rabbit trail and you're like, oh, can you tell me more about that, Dave? Tell me more about that, James. We'd love to be able to share that stuff with you, because we've got the real world experience of the internet marketing world, and we're here to share it with you. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks, James.
Thank you. Bye.